Hi folks, this is Roger. This is January of 2009 and I wanted to give you an update to the Temple of Steam. I did one of these last year and I thought time to do one again. We're going to start on the left side here with the Jensen collection, and the very first item is a riveted boiler number 5 from the late 30s. Next one is what's called the 4-bolt 25, also riveted from the late 30s. And a little bit later model than that, which is a 25, but it's not the 4-bolt, it's a smaller cylinder. You'll notice all three of those have that robin's egg blue color, which is characteristic of the late 30s. Going up to the top shelf here is one of my favorite Jensens, and that's a riveted boiler, number 10, with a standalone lamp post from the late 30s. And next to it is another number 10 from 1951. That was the single year with the round magnet generators. And next to it, a probably mid-40s Jensen 55 with the twin cylinders on it. To the right of that is a Jensen, what's called a big power plant, number 20 big power plant. It's got a large cylinder and the horseshoe style generator, which is a particular favorite of mine. That's a real beauty to run. Okay, coming back down to the next shelf, this is a number 30, Jensen number 30 vertical boiler that was paired up with a number 25 cast iron engine, and this is a replica of what they would have looked like in the 1950s, mid-50s. Next one, a Jensen 35 from the early war years, probably 42 to 44. They had cast iron flywheel and a decal on the base. The next one is a Jensen 40, which, like the 30, uses the vertical boiler, but this one is paired with a number 5 cast iron engine. Coming down to the bottom row, the very first Jensen that I owned was a number 25 from 1960, 61-ish, with a copper-style firebox, which was only used in 1 or 2 years, then they went to the more pinkish color. The next one is also a Jensen 25. Only I converted this one from electric to operate on denatured alcohol, or meth as it's called. And this is my newest Jensen. This was a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, the Jensen 95G with the turbine that was built for Jensen by Karsten Ginschel. So that's quite a nice sounding engine when it winds up. Sounds like a jet engine. Okay, what you're hearing, speaking of sounds, to the right of this is a replica of Jensen's flagship number 51. I built this 2 years ago. In fact, finished it in December 2 years ago. And what it started with is the late 1960s Jensen 50, and I modified it into a replica of a 51 with a control panel that measures the amount of amperage in, the amperage and amperage consumed and voltage generated by the AC and DC generators. You can actually see the lights are illuminated here, over there with the twin generators that produce AC, and below the twin AC generators is a DC generator that makes power for the DC motor and 2 of the lamps. If I step back, you can see the water tower, and this is a functional water tower that supplies water to the boiler. If you keep that water tower filled, you can run this thing all day long. Okay, moving up to the Empire end of my collection. The engine on the left is an Empire B30, the horizontal one. To the right of it is an Empire B31, the vertical version, a B35, which is their turbine version, and a twin-cylinder B42. All 4 of these are cast iron base, and these are the only 4 models that Empire made with the cast iron base on them. Moving up to the right corner here are 4 Empire accessories. Their Ferris wheel for the left rear, the windmill with a water pump built into it, a separate water pump up front, and a transmission unit off to the rear. Coming back to this shelf is my British engine, some of my British engines. This is a Mersey 53R. This is a Bowman E101. And this is a Mamod SE3, which I modified to have a generator, and I mounted it on a wooden base with a lamp post. The next shelf down is what good friend Odilon referred to as steam jewelry. These are small turbines and engines built by Carsten Ginschel, an engineer from Germany, who also built the turbine on the Jensen 95G. I have 9 of these on this shelf, plus the 10th one on the Jensen 95G. Below it is the very first engine that I received in 1961, and it's a Fleischmann 122/3. Still works like the day I got it. Next to it is the oldest engine in my collection from the probably early 20s, maybe even the late teens, a Bing twin flywheel overtype. To the right of it, a modern German engine, all 3 of these being German, the Fleischmann, the Bing, and this one's a Walesko vertical D455. That's only a few years old. And here's another Walesko, kind of a favorite, the old Smoky roller, which I converted and added a little bit of bling to it to make it look more like a Mercer roller. And the very newest addition to the collection, a Marklin 16051, which is a reproduction of a 1930s engine. I've only had this 24 hours. I've just received it and haven't had a chance to fire it up yet. Coming back up to this shelf, this is a collection of Jensen generators and a couple of others, one from an Austrian gentleman, one from a fellow in the back named Peter Santa Anna, and a Bowman generator over in the corner. This shelf is my Liney collection, 4 of these engines, the 4-cylinder prop-powered engine over in the corner, another prop-powered engine in the back, a small power plant that actually produces electricity, and a very tiny engine they call their thimble, and a couple of others, including a Phil Gravitt horizontal engine called the Lilliput that's very tiny but very beautiful when it runs. Okay, down on this shelf are my Mammoth mobiles, the SR1 in the front towing an open wagon, and the TE1 in the back towing the log wagon. Both beautiful examples. Over here is a Mammoth SW1, their steam wagon. Moving up, in the rear is a PM Research flame licker, and 3 Stirling engines, all built in Germany. A Hog, a Wiggers, and in the rear a Bohm or Bem, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's a twin cylinder deal. Moving up here is a shelf of Stewarts. I have 4 Stewarts, a 10H, in the rear a 10V, which is basically the same engine in vertical configuration for marine purposes, a Stewart Beam, and a Stewart S50. Last engine, Mammoth Roadster. That's about it. I'm running out of time on my camera. Thanks for visiting. You can see more of each of these engines in picture and video form on my website. Bye-bye.